Gobekli Tepe is going to be one of the earliest sites that we see really what appears to be permanent structures. And I'm being very careful here because what you're actually looking at is a hilltop, or believed to be a hilltop religious site, where it's possible that we have nomadic peoples who are coming to one specific religious site, oftentimes, by the way, on top of a hill or near a spring or a cave. Springs are frequently seen as sacred. Caves are often seen as entrances to the underworld, and so death often plays a role when we're dealing with religion. Hilltop, closer to the gods. The gods, of course, always live generally above us in almost every civilization that we look at. And what we see is about 20 circular structures with these monolithic T-shaped pillars, possibly to hold roofs. So you can imagine a fabric or wood roof of some form, maybe straw that would have been drawn over it. We really don't have a good idea of what they were using for that material. There aren't a lot of trees in this area, so the idea of sewing together skins or using some other material isn't that far-fetched. Entrance to them may have been through the roof, and this is really common, as we'll see in other settlements in the area. Of course, doors are weak points when you enter a structure from an architectural perspective. So the idea of entering through the roof makes a lot of sense. And here we see an idea of maybe there's some kind of earthen material over the roof. Maybe there's any number of other materials, again. But we want to focus on the T-shaped stone pillars themselves, which are generally carved with these shallow relief images. And here we see different animals, peoples, possibly gods being represented. We see an array of animals, birds, insects. Here, another example. So we have spiders on the far left. We have birds, scorpions, etc. on the far right. Each one may represent spirituality, something they see, something that they relate to religion. There's just too much here to not be somehow religious. We don't typically carve things into stone that don't have particular meaning to us. After all, it would have taken time to build this, and typically the most important thing in anyone's life at this point in history is going to be this element of religion. There's so much unknown that would have surrounded them. The stability of spirits or gods would have been very comforting. The interpretation, of course, is unknown, but we generally believe that it's tied to some form of ritual. Shocking when it's believed to be a religious site. But it does overturn the idea of pure hunter-gatherer societies. This may have been built long before farming, where, again, there's this sort of hunter-gatherer society, but they're developing a foundation in one area. And this may have been at the center of their various camps. It may have been in a camp or near a camp that we simply don't have now. They may have built stone temples well before they actually transition entirely into settlement and into farming.